So the district historian must fill out that form. The forms are found online, and whoever gets elected, we will help get that clarified, because there are some things that are definitely missing because it was taken from a national form, and it really needs to be more specific for Florida. So that's something that will be tweaked, and a lot of people said, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't know that we were supposed to do that. It came in late, it's okay. I didn't expect, but now that it's in the system, we will make that better. So only if you're the unit historian and the department president comes to visit you, you will need to be filling that out. The second thing that, oh yes?
The form is called the person visitation.
I'll even hand them out. I'll hand out some so that you know what they look like. I need these back because they were done by districts, but some of them came with an agenda. Great thing. So if your district, some of these were sent from the district and they came with an agenda as to what the department president was going to do. Feel free to staple that to your report form. If they're only coming to your unit for lunch, just put, she came to our unit for lunch. So here's what they look like, and there's a few of them in there. Pass them right out. They're all numbered, so I know which ones are going here. I'll rearrange this later. But sometimes people send me pictures from the visitation, so this is what the pictures look like. Okay. There's that. No. Good.
I see them.
Oh, okay. You got those. So see on the top where it says Department of Florida President's Visit Form? That's what it's called. So that's the first thing that the historian is responsible for, okay? So you fill out one of these forms if they're coming to your area or they come to your unit. Yes?
So if we're always with a shared unit, we still do this if she came, because we usually are shared, we have no post.
Yes. So, yep, absolutely. So you say, and there might be something that you've done that the other unit didn't do. Maybe you donated to Operation 300. Then you put in there exactly, because that's one of the questions. Did you donate to the President's Project? If you did, how much was the amount? Just so that we this just helps us to write the department history. Because we do need to keep track of where the department president has gone and how much money was raised and that's all the statistics that go into the written history for the department. Okay, so that's the only reason why we do that. It's just a form. Like I said, if you're a unit that the department president didn't come to, don't print it, because we don't hand these out. These are all on the website. Don't print it. She didn't come to your unit. You don't need to do that. But you will have to do a report form. Units are required, unit historians are required to do a report form. And I grabbed a district that didn't give me reports, which is the good way to do it. Okay, here's one. Okay, so unit historians are required to do a report form. Okay, this is the report form. It's on the website. If you don't know the website, you can write it down, www.alafl.org. When you get into that website, go over to Programs. Click down, you'll see Member Services or Members Organization or Members, something like that. Members, you're going to click over to or Outreach, Outreach. That's what it was, I knew there was. So you're going to click down to Member Services or
Number 2.
Yeah, it's the one about the, let me look. I don't want to give you bad information, and I'm sure it's written down here, but I can't find my notes at that second. So you're going to go into www.alafl.org. I have a quick link here. Look at that. Oh, that's national. There we go. The internet isn't great in here. Give me a second.
So it's
Yeah,
the first one, member or support.
Yeah. Oh, you got it?
Yeah, go program.
So you're going to go to, you're going to go to alafl.org. Go over to Programs. Underneath Programs, it says Member/org Support or Member Outreach. So you're gonna go to member org support. Scroll down and you'll see historian, and that's where all of this paperwork and all information will be. Has my picture there now, it'll have somebody else's picture soon. So, that's where you're gonna find it. So, every unit is required. As the historian, please remember, you are required to fill out this form. This is the report form. If you want to add a narrative to go with this, you are more than welcome to. It's not required, but a narrative is nice. Does everybody know the difference between your narrative and your written history? It's not the same. Your narrative goes with this. This is your stats. It tells you, it has questions like, what district are you from? How many units are in your, or no, that's a unit report. When did you start your year? Do you have social media? Please list what social media you have. What was the most important event that your unit participated in this year? Does your unit president have to participate in that important event? No. It's whatever you're writing as the unit historian, you are writing what your unit has done or is doing for the entire year. That's the job that you have at hand. So that is, it's okay, come on in. Just make sure you sign in for me, wherever the sign-in sheet went. Okay, we'll bring it up here for you. So, remember that as the unit historian, even though you start at installation, it is not the travels of the president, of the unit president. That is not what the responsibility of the historian is. It is the unit historian's responsibility to write or document what the unit has done throughout the whole year. Now, we talked about sometimes people do it electronically. They have it on a zip drive. They bring the zip drive into the canteen, and guess what? You ever see those photos that are showing at some canteens? All of a sudden, you start to see the historian's report, or the historian's pictures, or what a great idea. And what a nice way to let everybody in your whole Legion family know at your post home what you're all doing. What a cool thing to do. Or I've actually seen books like this set on the canteen, and inside is a whole plethora of information as to maybe you talked about the history of your brick and mortar building. What used to be over at Fifth Ave, and now we're here at this location, and we've been here for 75 years, and this year the American Legion family for this post is being honored because we've hit our 75th anniversary or whatever. So you can put all of those things in there. Well, how cool is it for somebody to come in and start going through, even whether they're a guest or not? And all of a sudden they start reading a little bit, and they say, oh, I didn't know that building used to, this Legion post used to be over there. Oh, that was my old school, or that was, I just found out in another class, oh, their post home used to be a jail. I said, well, that's cool. So she said, yeah. I said, well, I want to see that in your book. You write those things. Those are the important historical events or historical happenings. Put it in your history. How cool is that? Or, hey, we used to have the father-son team. The son was a son of the American Legion, and the father was one of the first charter members of their post, and he started, and he automatically came up with the son's idea, and it was a father-son duo. And I'm using that because the National Sons of the American Legion commander this year, his mother was national president years ago. So it's kind of cool that you have, pulling the whole family. This is what we're all about. We're supporting the whole entire Legion family. So it's cool to see things like that. So feel free to put your book on if you have an actual book. If you do it digitally, see if there's other options that you can do. But there's great ideas that you can do. We also now have the Voorhees Award. For those of you who don't know, Caroline Voorhees was our very first Department of Florida president. I tried to find the first department historian, but I couldn't find it. So we just named the award after our first department president, and it's a pictorial history book. So this is one that is similar. I was also the district, so I'm going to show you this one. Actually, let me show you something else too. So we started out in somebody else's year, it was all purple and bells. And I didn't have to buy 2 books this way either. So I saved a little bit of money, time, and energy because I already ended up having the book. I made it very generic on the front. And then we started out with, you know, the requirements, which are a dedication, the Pledge of Allegiance, national anthem, preamble, and a prayer. And then just went through what, not necessarily what Penny was doing, but what the entire district, you know, our numbers, our membership numbers, that was important. Some of the activities that went on, some of the things that were done, fall conference. And here's a visit from the national president, who was Lisa Williamson last year. So there's a lot of different things, Red Shirt Friday, so you can do. And then, now it changes colors, and we go into the teal. So, once again, same idea. Things that were important to this year. Obviously, I haven't finished it, so. And Penny knows that. I already gave it to her and then told her I'd finished it. But that's the pictorial history book. So how cool would it be if you go into your post home and you get to look at a photo book? And it doesn't have to be like a scrapbook form. You can do it digitally. They have Snapfish. They have Canva. They have chat books. Cheap, easy, throw your photos in, and it makes a scrapbook. And all that's required in the Voorhees Award for the Department Award here is that you send in 25 pages. And there's requirements on the website, underneath historian, there is requirements as to what is, so you need to send in the front cover, the first 5 pages, and then any page that you feel as though is the best looking page that you have. Hi ladies.
Hi.
Come on in. No worries, it's all right. Please make sure you sign in there, okay? I feel like there's more people in this class than them. There's room up here too. You're more than welcome to sit up front. I just threw all my stuff over here. So you're more than welcome. Come up here. Come up here. You're fine.
She'll
Get over here.
always do it. Teacher's pet.
I'll may not be there.
I'm coming for my historian, so I need to put her name down.
No, because you're the one attending.
There you go. This is not my cookie. There you go. That's right. Okay, so make sure we sign in. Where's that sign in sheet? Okay, it's getting signed in. Okay, so,
I'll sign her in.
all right. So we have the unit historian. I want to explain this. So there are 3 things that are required. 1, like I said, the president's form. 2, the report form, and a narrative if you'd like. But remember, the narrative is not your written history, and then your written history of your unit. If you are the district historian, then all of the report forms and narratives go on to the district historian, and the district historian writes a consolidated report from all of those things, doesn't send everything to the department historian, they consolidate everything as a district, talk about all of the important things that went on in the district, because now you've just sent in your unit report, so they know what went on in your unit, or in the whole district. And then guess where that goes? To the department historian. And then the department historian gets all of those report forms and narratives, if that's included, looks at all of that stuff, writes a consolidated report, and then sends that on to the Southern Division National Vice President with this written history, okay? We are one of the few departments that does a pictorial history book, and this is why I was segueing from put your books out in your canteen. Has anybody ever been to 347 in Lady Lake? It's a pretty amazing thing when you walk in and you see their scrapbooks there, right? Everybody has an opportunity to go and see those scrapbooks, and they're huge. And they probably get 3 a year. So they do this, but that's what they've done. For years, that's what they've done. They've done this pictorial history of their entire unit. They don't, I've now started to see a written history from that, but they do this amazing book, and it's been completely, it blows me away every time I go in there. I start going through, and every once in a while I go to an event, and then I come back and go to another event, and all of a sudden my photo's now in their photo book because we attended an event that they held there, or visitation when Dee was president. So it's just an amazing thing. And I say, what a great way to include everyone in their own unit. They're really, that's a great way to show your history. So it's not required. We now have an award for it. That was one of the reasons why we thought, you know what, a pictorial history book is a great way to do it. And a lot of people, what they do is they do this, and we can pass these out here. You can take that one if you want. In these history, this pictorial history, this is an old one, but same idea. What some people do is this is how they write their written history. They go through and they say, okay, installation was on this day because it's here, and these were the people that were important in the Legion family. So you put a list, and here's the officers. So you put a list of your officers, and then you can talk a little bit about, maybe your unit president, or like I said, your brick and mortar building if it's old, or anything specific to your. And then you just go through and this is how you write your written history. This was an event. We did an installation dinner. We had a hot dog stand. Then there was Memorial Day. So this is how you can use things like this. Also remember, you can use your unit minutes. What did your unit do? Oh, the minutes were last month's meeting. Oh, look at that. We did this and this and this and this. And that's also how you can start writing it. Utilize your, maybe your post puts out a calendar of events. Utilize that. That's what a great way to say, hey. And then as the unit historian, I don't know if anybody gets a chance at your unit meetings, but do you get an opportunity to stand up and say, you're the unit historian, do you have anything to report this month? Most people don't even get asked, let alone. So talk to your unit president and make sure that if they're going through committee reports, make sure you're on there, because it's a great opportunity for you as the historian to say, did anybody attend anything? Did anybody go to attend something? It doesn't necessarily have to be within your unit. If they attended something, maybe they decided that they're Legion Riders and they went on a ride, but they donated on behalf of either the unit, or they donated on behalf of the post family or whatever. Those things can go in your unit history report. Those are in your unit history, your written history. Okay? And that's where everybody seems to get confused. We have a report and we have a written history. It's two different things. Your report is that report form. It's your statistics. It's your bullet points. It's your written history is actually the writing of the story of your unit. Okay? And then those, like I said, go on to your district. Once again, raise your hands, district historians. Just a couple of you. Okay. So we'll concentrate more on the unit. So far, so good. Does anybody have any questions? I know that's a lot of information at once. So those are the three really important things. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question as a reference to Operation 300. What is that?
Operation 300 is actually Charlotte Bass, Department President Charlotte Bass's project this year. So if you're looking at the visitation form, is that where you get that?
Just heard you mention
Oh, you heard me mention it. Okay. So if anyone, if your unit made a donation to Operation 300 or wrote about Operation 300, we just need to know that into the history, into the written history. So that's her personal project. This year at installation, when if Robin Burke gets elected, then she will have her own project. So, what was Dee's?
Hurricane disaster relief. AEF disaster.
So yeah.
Which we're using.
Emergency
Oh, there you go.
fund.
So, yeah, a lot of people are using it, right? What a great way. So every department president has their own pet project. They do their own personal project. So that was hers. And Operation 300 was started by a Navy SEAL that passed away. He left two small kids at home. So it really was. They don't do archery now because their dad's gone, and they don't do fishing because their dad's gone. So they started this program where people could volunteer to help take military kids that lost their parents
The Navy SEALs donate their time
Mentor.
to take them on a camping trip
There you go.
and to teach them all the things that their parents would have taught them. Go watch the video because if you thought Gary Sinise's program was sad, it's incredible what they do for them. And all the Navy SEAls are the ones that they go and volunteer their time to teach them how to do these different things.
Gold Star families. Yeah, yep, Gold Star family stuff. So everybody has a different project, and what we like to do is we like to hear what, remember I said it's not the travels of the president. So as a unit, just because installation and you're starting with installation and this is who your department or your unit president is, there are things that you should be also writing in that written history. So you should be writing about, did anybody go and attend School of Instruction? Did anyone, whatever your unit does accumulatively, you are writing a story about what your unit is doing and has done. Okay? And you can always present your history to your unit president at the end of the year. But like I say, if there's a way that you can share that, that's the best way to do it. Share it. Put it on your canteen. Put it in a zip drive. Maybe put it on your social media page. You can share that. There's nothing in there that's shouldn't be able to not be shared. Yes?
What I found very helpful, this was my first year this past year. And
Well, good. I'm glad.
I love it.
Yay! I love to hear that.
Peter Ford,
Okay.
he's the one who does our trying, so every 3 months they put the new letter out.
Okay.
So he was asking me for the historian, what we did, so I would always make sure that my narrative of what we did and the pictures I sent would be that time that I worked on, so didn't feel like it was like overwhelming to keep doing everything
Nice.
constantly.
That's a great tip.
I had that time to put it together and sit down and then send it to him, and then I also was able to print for the
For the history. Yeah. That's great. Did everybody get to hear that?
No.
Yeah. There you kind of. So she says that every 3 months, you said,
Yeah.
that their post-family, he asked for things to go into the newsletter. So every 3 months, she basically had a chance to go through and reflect on what the unit had done. So once she wrote all that, she was able to put that into the history as well. So it wasn't, she said it wasn't overwhelming for her to do it that way. So that's a great way to do it. Some people start right from the very beginning at installation, and the historian starts writing immediately. I do. I started writing every single thing that we participated with. Now, it's a whole different thing when you're
We have them.
if you're in the unit, you
I
stick
seen
to
it.
what the unit is done and what the unit is doing. Even if one person from your unit has decided to go to maybe a Seven Bridges ride, because they're also a Legion rider, include that. That's okay. It's all part of being part of the unit. And then another great tip is, at your unit meetings, like I said, ask your president if there's an opportunity for you to at least get up. And if you have nothing to report, then that's your opportunity to say, okay, I need to know what everybody's done this past month. Let me know. So you can just jot down, oh, so-and-so went here, or these 3 people went to a district thing, or this is what. So that's a great way to really get the information. Yes?
I started handing out a logbook sheet, and I just pass it around and.
Great idea. Dee?
Dara, I have an idea for the unit also, a bulletin board.
Great idea.
I've seen, in my travels, I saw units that had very nicely decorated bulletin boards that put pictures up, names, events. They put, had checks, pictures of checks, donations that they did. That also, when guests come into your unit, into your post, they see that, they see what you're doing, they want to join, and then there's membership.
That's a great way to do it.
Yep.
And then, guess what? January comes around and you're taking down December, and guess where all that stuff goes? Right into your pictorial history book, or right into your You can write about all of those things that was just on your bulletin board. Great idea, great suggestion, I love that. So that's really where you're getting a lot of your information. As long as you can gain that information, and there may be weeks or months that you're not really, maybe you're a small, we had a brand new charter in here, and they're very excited about doing a history book because guess what? They're starting from the bottom. They have nothing. They've never had this before. So gave them some really good suggestions on how to do that. Since you are already established, most of you are already established, you're going to start from installation and then just continue to go. And a lot of people are laughing because there may be people in here that said, we had an historian or we've never had a historian and we don't have anything. So what a great way to start. Another thing that I always like to talk about is once you have either a book, whether it's a picture book or whether it's a written book, something similar to this, once you have this, you could present it to your president. Maybe the president says, well, I really don't want to keep it at home. They ask, can I put it at my post or can I put it somewhere? So preserving this is a whole nother thing as well. We just talked about AEF. What happens when your post gets flooded? Where does all this historical information go? And I'll tell you, unfortunately, I know from talking to people in the 13th district specifically, only because they had a lot of issues. They lost a lot of their stuff. They lost the actual, the antique charter. Take photos, and there are companies and apps out there that can help you preserve that stuff as well. Yes, it's a photo, but at least you have those important documents or the important, you can still save them. Oh, somebody's got them on a zip drive. I don't have the book anymore. Well, then you go down to somebody and you say, hey, can you print this and bind this for us and put it in a nice little binder book for us? Because we just lost it, right? D-Bell, you have a scrapbook, but you lost everything else, correct? So there's a perfect example as to what had occurred. She was fortunate enough that she got her scrapbook. She did get a scrapbook. It was after the storm, right? That's
Yes.
why. So,
I lost my scrapbook, and I also lost my chaplain's book. Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that she has something else. So we'll replace that because guess what? Somebody saved all of her things. So it was all saved digitally. So I don't know about the chaplain book. I can't take credit for that one, but hopefully the chaplain saved some of the stuff.
But good news, I moved back into my house next week.
Yay!
Oh, nice. That's great.
Congrats.
Great to hear. Yeah.
So that just goes to show you that if you have important documents, if you have a scrapbook, if you have a book, any of those important documents, any of those artifacts that you want to save, try to see if you can do that digitally as well. So that's just a whole nother layer to doing things like this. Okay, so I think I've clarified all of the important requirements. Now, your written history, like I said, is your story of your unit. Once you have done your written history, you go into ALAFL.org, and you look where the requirements are for submitting that. So you're going to write a written history, and then where do you think it needs to go? As a unit historian, where are you going to send that to? The first important thing is follow your chain of command. So always send it to your district. You can also courtesy copy and send it on to the department because that's where the judging gets done. Okay? So my suggestion is absolutely, if you're going to do a written history and you follow the rules and regulations that are on the website, making sure that you're following those rules and regs, send it to your district so that your district historian knows that yes, you did submit something for an award. If you're going to do the same thing, if you're going to do a pictorial history book, make sure that you send it electronically to your district and then to the department. Okay? And it's really important, and this is my, I want to make sure people are clear. When you're filling out those forms, make sure that they're correct. If you're the unit historian and you're just saying, oh, I filled out this form and and it looks like, hi! It looks like, let me just finish this one sentence. If it looks like we have, it's going to, just go through your chain of command is my point. Boy, I got really tongue-tied here because we have some very special guests. Do you want to come up front, ladies?
Absolutely.
I would love to have you.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Now I know why. I'm so tongue-tied. Hi. How are you? Hi, how are you? Oh, thank you.
Okay. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
My name is Robin Burke, and I'm your incoming president for the 2025-2026 year.
Yay!
Our theme this year is a passion for veterans. And passion strikes such a strong emotion that it's kind of like over and above. And that is why I selected to dress today like Nora Desmond of Sunset Boulevard. If you've ever seen the movie, this is an aging star who still thinks she's the star. But she was just very dramatic and passionate about what she did. And that is what brings us success. Passion for what we do. We go above and beyond and go that extra mile to do the things we need to do. We used to do things where we would tell you what to do and not necessarily tell you how to do it. So we're going to tell you a little bit this year about how to do things. Most of what we do in our mission for veterans falls under the VNR program. However, we all should be thinking about what we can do for veterans because it is our mission. So, it does not mean we have to go to a VA hospital and go through the red tape of getting in the door and doing what we need to do. It means taking care of our veterans also at home. We all have neighbors. We all have neighbors. Very easy. Have you offered to take the garbage pail in? Have you offered to cut the grass? Have you offered to bring their mail in for them? And also, you have to think about in that home is probably a caregiver. Caregiver who works 24/7 and doesn't get paid for it when other people who have that job do get paid for it. We have to think of them too. We need to give them some respite. I've made a suggestion about a unit, just passing the hat or doing a small raffle where you get $50. Take a caregiver out and get her nails done. Take her to Dunkin' Donuts. Take her to a tea room. Do something that day she doesn't have to be 24/7 concentrating on helping her loved one. And believe me, she'll do it forever. But we need to give them some breaks. And we need to know what they're going through if we can help them in some way. That's what we're here for. And that's what we're going to do. So, having said that, there's assisted care facilities and nursing homes on every corner in Florida almost due to the fact that we have a very aging population. However, don't overlook that there's veterans in there. And you don't have to do that work at a VA hospital. You can do it at one of those facilities. Go in and speak to the activities director. Tell her you got a group of ladies and men who want to come in and just either spend some time with them and have some fun. Call bingo. Help them with jigsaw puzzles. Music. We used to get the riders involved where on Veterans Day we would ride around like the circle in front of the nursing home, and they would all come out and they were on their scooters and in their chairs and they just loved it, and they had their flags on their chairs and everything, and boy, what a photo op that was. So there's little things that we can do that mean so much to people who are house-ridden, or housebound, or bedridden, and we really need to take care of them and those who take care of them. So, with that said, the passion starts with our membership. So I'd like to introduce you to my sidekick, Tina Turner.
Thank you, Robin. You're welcome. My name is Dawn Davis. This is not my real hair. Somebody earlier was like, no, it's not my real hair. But I have a passion for membership. Tina Turner had a voice. So I am your voice of membership this year, and we want all of our members to be able to share their voices this year. Jan built a beautiful house last year. Our members built a beautiful house, and we had that beautiful foundation. So we want our houses to be filled with passion this year, and we want our members to be able to share their voices. So your district presidents, a little while ago, received their themes, and I'm sure some of you already know your themes because you texted your district presidents and were like, what's our theme? And you've probably already ordered something on Amazon to go along with it, because I know how you are. So you might be a microphone, or you might be a boombox or something like that. Some way to share your voice. Have fun with it. Just have a great time. Then you also are going to have a song that shares a passion as well, because we're not going to do just one song for membership this year. We're going to have a playlist of songs. So you're going to find out that as well. So your district president picks their song too. You may even pick a unit song. Maybe your unit decides they want a song. I'm going to ask you to share those on the membership page. I want to hear your membership stories this year. I want to, if you have like a really cool thing that your unit did or your district did to promote membership, share those stories. We want to hear everything because we're one big Legion family, and we want to build this house, right, and keep filling it with passion. We want to be over 105% this year, right?
Yeah.
And just keep that momentum going, keep that passion going. We're red, if you haven't guessed. Red's our color. So are you ready to build a beautiful, passionate year of membership?
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate your time, ladies, and thank you. I know we were a little late getting here.
That's
but,
okay.
It took us a while to find points out.
Yeah. I had to do that. Walked all the way
We
down.
walked all the way down.
Great job. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. We're really,
Keep it rolling.
we're all really looking forward to
Good,
this.
good.
This is going to be fun, isn't it? Look at this year. This will be fabulous. I hope we got a good song.
So cute.
I just might not sing it.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. So, I believe I'm to the point now where I can start asking questions. And I know people always have questions. The first thing the tips that I can give you is ALAFL.org. That is the biggest key that you could possibly, that you'll need, because that really gives you a lot of the information. The other thing that I can't stress enough about, and I did it, I've told everybody, call me, text me, email me, message me. The department historian will be given a department email. You can email them. I'm sure that they'll be happy to give you, whoever wins the election, I'm sure that they will be happy to give you their personal cell number so that if you have questions, utilize you as the unit historian. If you have questions, make sure you know who your district historian is. Go up your chairs, find out who they are, call them, and if they don't have the answers, call the department historian. They can answer all of those questions. I would much rather have somebody ask me 50 questions than not ask me and then end up doing not wrong, because there's not really anything wrong with doing a history. It's your unit. You do it how you want to do it. But if there's something that we can assist you with, maybe applying for the awards. If you have questions about, I put in 8 pictures in my written history. You're only allowed 5. That's what the rules state. I can't change the rules. You're more than welcome to keep 8 in your book, yeah. But just don't submit 8. Submit only 5, if that helps you. So you pull those out, you submit it, and then you put it back in, and then there you go. So there's a lot of little tricks to the trade in that respect. But please utilize the people that are in places, in the next levels, so that you can go through your chain of command. The next thing, you're welcome. Thank you. The next thing, I love this, except we have one little problem with it. This was submitted into part of the written history. Does it look like anything? Anybody? knows? What's it look like? Looks like, yeah, looks like a newsletter. Guess where those go? Public relations. So please make sure that when you're submitting things, now, the person that submitted this, she's getting it. It's going. Like the button.
On the side.
There we go. I would normally say that's $5, but Robin just came in, so we'll let her deal with that. So this right here may have been written by the historian. Submit it as a non-article. Does that make sense? So if she wrote this, which I believe she did, when she wrote this, she needs to submit it in as a non-article. The minute I get it, then it looks like this. Bye, thanks. The minute I get it and it looks like this, it's automatically not eligible because it falls under public relations. So make sure you know the difference between what you're submitting and how you're submitting it. Like I said, you're only allowed in a written history, you're only allowed 5 photos. Are we getting close to leaving?
Just for a minute.
Okay. No, so what time? Did everybody sign this sign-in sheet?
Yes.
And where is this? Oh, okay. So, oh, we've got a half an hour.
11:17.
Everybody's leaving. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So just try to remember that. The other thing is that know who your district, if you're the unit historian, know who your district is because it goes on your report form. When you start to do your unit report form, which looks like one of these here, I have one. Here's a unit history report form. Okay, this is what it looks like. It states right on there, what district are you in and who's your district historian? Well, this one just happens to say, I'm in District 5 and my district historian is Dara Oliver. I don't live in District 5, I'm definitely not the district historian in District 5. So know who that is so that you're not writing wrong information. So, as the unit, if you don't know, rather than filling it out incorrectly, which, you know, that is incorrect, but find out.
That's not my report, is it?
Nope.
Okay.
Verna Luke. Nope, it's not. Just kidding. No, but this just we're really trying to educate our members so that they are filling these things out correctly. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to make sure that for the next year's historian, you know exactly how to fill these forms out. What's required. Now, part of this can be a narrative, and the narrative is basically the written part of all of the stats that are on this. So any question on here, this you can put in your narrative. Your narrative is not your written history. It's just your stats or the answers to these questions. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's where everybody gets confused, right there. Well, I thought my narrative was my written history. Well, you can utilize it as your written history, but does it have all of your information, and is it just your stats? Do you just have it written in bullet points and chronological order? Your written history is really the story of your unit, okay? So that's the difference. Make sense? Excellent. Good, good. Okay. So we do have several different ways that people submit. People submit just in a plain old little book. They submit in a 3-ring binder. This, just to let you all know, this is actually the written history of the Department of Florida this year. This was my written history that will be presented to President Charlotte. And in here, I have lots of things, like this was her installation speech. This was her speech that I got a copy of, so when she was installed. So she'll be able to look back and keep this book. There's her only a 5x7 photo of our president. Then we have a list of our officers, and this is supposed to be, if I'm submitting this onto national, I'm supposed to be doing this in double space. I did single space because double space is it'd be a lot thicker than this if I did it that way. So the rules state for the department to send it on to national, and I don't know if you guys know, but the national historian this year, she probably is not gonna pick Florida as the winner. I'm just letting you know that. Did you get that? For that on the video? I don't think. That's why I did mine this way, because this is not, I will be submitting it, like, that's my requirement as the department historian. I will be submitting it on. It actually goes to Cheryl Shine, which is our Southern Division Vice President. She's the first one that gets to, view it and judge it. I'm gonna say she's gonna judge the book of the Department of Florida's history book, and then it goes on to the national historian. So there's not a chairman basically on the national level when we get up. So we really rely on the divisional vice presidents to do that. So you're more than welcome to look at this, but there are several things, like I put in here copies of her Facebook page and the department president's Facebook page. So if you are not on social media, or you're on social media but have not clicked any of our pages, please go and find the pages. The department historian page is a great page. The department president has her own travel page, so that's a great tool for the incoming historian to follow, so that we can't be, I didn't make any visitations with Charlotte this year. I didn't make any visitations with Dee the year that she was department president. So I needed to rely on members, those forms, the visitation forms, and social media. So that's really where I get my information to build this. This was the program from the memorial service last year. This was installation. So this just goes to show you like things that would go into your book. So all different things, the themes, different events. She was asked to be a Members Remember. She was nominated to be a Members Remember on our Facebook page. So we had to do a whole story on her. So that was really fun. Here's a lot of the stats that I'm just a stats person. I want to know. Out of all of our reports, 88.24 were completed in the Department of Florida, which is pretty darn good. So I'm not gonna complain about that. But we do need to do better. We need to make sure that the units are knowing that, send it on to your district, and your district historians need to know that they really need to do a consolidated report. Even if they send me, because a lot of times that's what happens, I get sent the unit reports, I can't read. How many units are there in the state of Florida?
210.
How much?
210.
Okay. How
Something
am I
like
going to
that.
read 210 and 200 whatever unit reports? I can't do that. So I really rely on the districts to do theirs. I can read 16 or 17 depending on how we break it up. So that's doable. And then I write the consolidated report for Florida and send it on. So that's really, I'm trying to stress that. Like, you as the unit, it's important for you to really write about everything that's going on in your unit. Some of these are blanked out because I didn't want you to see who won. Let's see. So we had there are several awards that go along with it. So am I clear on the written history now? And then the pictorial history, the Voorhees Award. So now let me get into some of the other pet projects that we were able to do as a historian. We had two other submissions that you could do. One of them was called the Members Remember. So Members Remember project was anybody that might have been from your specific area that you wanted to talk about. It could be someone, maybe your building is named after a certain gentleman that was passed away in the war, but his widow did something great in your, maybe she started the charter in your unit. You can write about someone special. It could be, somebody could write about Dee Bell. She was our past department president. She went through a horrible hurricane. She lost her house, for crying out loud. While she was department president, she lost her husband, and then she lost her mother 2 weeks later. And all of those things. Write about, and look at how strong she is. She's still and very active, and she just left, but.
We know
I'll
her.
talk about her since she's not here, but I'm talking good about her, so,
Yeah.
and y'all let her know.
Very
That's
classy
that.
lady.
But those are
She's a
things that
cancer
you-
survivor too.
Yes.
She came and walked in our
Exactly, and she's a
cancer walk.
survivor. I mean, like, come on, this woman is resilient.
She's been-
Quit smoking.
Oh,
Yes.
thank God. So there are some really awesome things that.
And
so
she's very
think about
classy.
somebody that maybe is
Very
your
classy
favorite
lady.
mentor. Maybe you could write about somebody that,
That's awesome.
and just sit down with them and find out what their story is. That's a great, I love those. I love those. And then we were able to put on, in the month of March this year, the Department of Florida, and I'll be honest, I'm gonna say something, here we go. We did this last year, every day in the month of March, because it's Women's History Month. It doesn't have to be anybody military, it can be anyone. Women's History Month, we took the 31 days in March, and we had 31 different people that we highlighted. So every single day we had somebody. So start to think, because your department historian, if they decide to do this project again, they're gonna need 31 of these. And it was kind of sad that we didn't get a whole lot of them submitted. So I was on the phone, I was emailing, I was calling people, I was texting people saying, hey, if you're gonna get this submitted, get it submitted to me quickly so that we can get one a day. They did it on the national level, and now California is also doing it. So they kind of followed what we had decided, what we had started to do. And what a great way to promote auxiliary members. It was, we didn't use just auxiliary, we only used auxiliary members in the Department of Florida. On the national level, they also had Melina Michaels, who was our Poppy lady. She was from Georgia, she was not actually an auxiliary member. Teddy Roosevelt's mother, Edith Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt was one of our founding fathers for the American Legion back in 1919. So Teddy Roosevelt III, Jr. His mother, we highlighted her. We highlighted Dr. Mary Walker, I believe is her name. She was not an auxiliary member, but there were some other that we were able to highlight. And then we highlighted a lot of national presidents and things like that. So it was nice to be able to, so not only did I do 31 in the Department of Florida, I also did 31 in the national level. So please, I can't stress this enough, as a unit, if you know of somebody, maybe, like I said, your favorite mentor, or your favorite department president, or somebody that is just maybe a junior member. Pine Castle submitted Jasmine. She was a junior member. So submit whoever you want to. And all you have to do is just follow on the website, once again, ALAFL.org. Follow it where it says members, remember. And there's some rules there. It just is like an interview. You interview them, you write things down, you send in a few photos, and that goes, you can also submit that nationally as well. So, and then there is women's history. Female military history. So, Female Veterans History Project looked something similar to this. Pine Castle submitted our Miss Veteran America 2024-2025. Cassandra Guzman is her name. So they submitted her. There were other military women that were submitted for this project, and then they got highlighted as well. So let's see, Ellen Tierney. Does anybody know Ellen? She's a veteran. She's a dual member at 347 in Lady Lake. She's here, I know. Lois Halliday, Catherine Wilgus, this cute little lady. This is Ruth Jones, everyone. I'm going to introduce you to Ruth Jones. Ruth Jones is 100 years old. I got to meet her at a luncheon to honor female veterans, and Lady Lake was submitted her. She has a great story, and this was her photo when she was in the military. So you can do something similar to this, and this is all you really need to submit. There's a small little story about her, and it was, like I said, it was submitted. So there are other history projects that you can involve yourself with, so that you can allow other people to learn from you and share the joy of this lady has a really cool story. And then she just recently went on the all-female honor flight trip. So that was really cool too. I think she won an award for the oldest, but so yeah. So there's different different ways, and like I said, you can do these. This is really this is what's beautiful about the history. You can do it any way you want to. You want to do it like this. You want to do it like this. You can do it electronically, so that hopefully they'll put pictures like this up at your canteen because you have a zip drive, and you say, hey, you know what? We did a female veterans history project. Will you put it up on your screen at the canteen? If you want to put a little photo book out on your bar, you know, on the you can do things like that. It's entirely up to you. That's the beauty of being a historian.
And today is our Women Veterans Day.
Yes.
Today.
There you go. Well,
when you
how
see a
about
female
that? Well,
veteran,
thank
please
you. Is
put it on
there
my
any
website.
Thank
female
you.
veteran in the room right now? No? All right, well.
Boost our
Which
minds.
my platform remarks. So there you go. Is there any other questions? In the back of this book, I also ended up sharing, Charlotte, just a few of what some of these photo books, the Voorhees Awards, look like. So there's some, as you can see, people do them very different. Here's an electronic book. So this just happened to come to me, and I printed out some of the pages from that. So they can look like this. They can look, you know, it doesn't matter how they look. As long as you do one, I don't really care. So, and I don't, and I shouldn't make it sound like I don't care, because I obviously care. I'm not planning on being your historian next year, but I want to see all these amazing things. And the minute you submit that to the incoming historian, I'm sure that they're going to be putting that out on the Facebook pages, and that's what the other thing. Let's share the Facebook page. So we have a Florida one, and it's ALAFL, all together, all capitalized. And then it just says history. So ALAFL history. There's a national one. Excuse me. American Legion Auxiliary Historians, with an S. American Legion Auxiliary Historian. Now when you get to that page, that one is a closed page, but there's a lot of information out there as well, and that you will have to answer some questions. If you don't answer the questions, you get kicked out, and then you have to reapply to go in there. So when you go in, ask to join, and then just answer the questions. Super easy. And then of course, I don't know if you know, but we have the new President's page, so you can follow that. We have the Florida page, and then one of the best Facebook pages that we have for a great resource is our public relations page. And would you like to tell us what the public relations page?
It's ALAFL space public space relations.
There you go. And that's a great one. That's Verna, our public relations chairman, who is just amazing.
Thank
But she
you.
was also a historian this year.
Yes, I was.
So thank you for that. All right, let's get into questions. Who has questions? I answered all your questions, really? Come on. Really? Well, good. Was there anybody this year that submitted? Raise your hand. I know that some people did because I have you in the back of this book. Dara Flynn, she submitted a written and a pictorial, and I have her. Oh, there's another one. There's Safety Harbor did that one. This was obviously done digitally. See how easy that was? You basically put your photos in here. I'll show you. This was a great one as well. I don't know if anybody's going to do Safety Harbor, but I'll shoot you more in here.
They all start with
It was really neatly done.
Yeah, I have some.
It was quite the, and then, so this is the difference between a digital Voorhees Award and an actual putting it together. And did I get to mention that you should have a party and do a page? Did I mention that? Oh, I didn't mention it in this class. See, these two wonderful women that came in messed me all up. So, if you plan on doing a book like this, we had a great suggestion, and now my unit is going to be doing this. Have a party at your unit. Supply pages and photos and embellishments and anything that you want to put in a scrapbook. The unit buys the scrapbook and the pages, and then you have a party, and every person that's there gets to do a page. That way, once again, You as the unit historian is not responsible for the entire book. Have other people help you. Have other people, you're gonna hopefully have people help you write because you can't be at every event. You don't know what every event is that you're gonna be doing. So have them help you. Oh, I went to the Vendors Expo. Have them write because they went to the Vendors Expo. Have them write about the Vendors Expo. Maybe they have a few photos. And those things can all go, like I said, on your Facebook page. But wouldn't it be fun that each person grabs a couple of photos and gets to do one event each or one specific thing?
What about if we didn't have the chairman do their?
The chairman could do a page. Oh, we're just making this even better, Dara. So yeah, each chairman in your unit could do a page. Maybe the VA&R chairman does something specifically to, the nursing homes or people that, the respite care, nail day or whatever. That's a great idea. See, this is what it's all about. Let's all come together and brainstorm. So yeah, what a cool idea. So yeah, you could do that. How fun would that be though, right? And then you're all getting together again. I'm not saying you can't have wine. Do it at 6 at night. Don't do it at 10 in the morning, but
It's not an official meeting.
It's right. It's not an official meeting. You're just getting together to hopefully put something really nice together for your entire.
And just make sure that you read those rules.
Yes, read the rules. And if you have questions about the rules, please reach out to first your district. And if you feel as though you're not getting the right answers, feel free to go to the department historian. And I'll be honest with you, I left my business cards over there. That is my cell phone number. If you have a question, I love this program, so please take one of my business cards. Don't email me because that emails are not the right one, but call me, text me, say, hey, I met you. I just have a question. Would you mind helping me out? I love what we do here in this. The history, if it isn't for the history, preserving our memories, how is anybody ever going to remember what we did? We've been around here now for 106 years. How are we ever going to know what we did 106 years ago if somebody didn't write it down? So it's really important for that. So these are just some of the books that I will show you, and this one's starting to look familiar, isn't it, Darla? This is Darla's book. So there you go. So she had to have the front cover, and then she sent me 25 other pages that included, certain things about the unit, the dedication. That was her dedication page. She did each page differently, separately, and then this must be when you gave Dawn. So Tina Turner, that was just here, is Dawn. She was her unit president, and she presented the book to her, right? So this is it's just such a great. This is why I love this program. I got passionate about this program. So if you want to look at this, you're more than welcome to. The green pages I know are covering. Please don't look underneath those. Those are actually the winners, and I didn't want to. No spoiler alerts here. So, any other questions? Like I said, start writing as soon as installation goes. The biggest concern that I had in the last class was, what do I do with, they're still going on during this year, because remember, installation isn't until either June or July, depending on when you do it. So if that's the case, still include that. That's all part of your program. That's all part of your unit's history. So include those things. Don't just say, we didn't have to include them, so we left them out. Well, who went to Girls' Day? In 1985, who went to Girls' Day? I did. So you could say that, hey, that's important. That was important history. And I say that because that really has to do with my history. 40 years ago, in 1985, that was the reason why I joined the American Legion Auxiliary. So that's really all part of my unit's history. Is like, oh my gosh, 40 years later, she lives in Florida now, but and it was kind of cute because they asked me about that in New York. They said, hey, we found out that you just had your 40. Of course, they find out because I put everything on Facebook. This is my journal for the day. But that's why I guess I'm really a historian at heart, because I journal every day. I just don't write it down in a book anymore. I put it on my Facebook page. And that's really my story is written every single day in my photos and my writings, and writing helps you become a better writer. So the more you write, even though I'm just putting a few blurbs on something, it's really helped me to be a better writer. Now, public speaking, never had a problem with that one. So, yes. Oh, you have a question?
Understanding.
Oh, somebody had a question.
If you also, like, when you post to your page, like, for me, I'm not the historian. I'm everything else.
Well, thank you.
But I really am the historian because, you know, when we go to do those reports, I'm just going to tell you, this is the biggest key. As soon as I take pictures, because I'm very, very busy, I have a full-time job. So as soon as I take the pictures at an event or even if we're just there and we're celebrating somebody's birthday or something, I immediately post it onto our page. And so when it comes time for the reports, I go back through those. And you know, I was a district president this year. I did not know what I was doing. It was very hard. It was more than I kind of got pushed into it. But
And once again,
thank you. You're welcome. But I kept asking them for reports, and a couple of them didn't even know how to do the reports. I'm like, I gave you a binder because I gave them individual binders with every one of the chairs with all the plans of actions in it. And it also had a copy of the reports. So I was like, go to your book, go and look. It'll tell you what, and you'll figure out what you've done. Don't tell me you haven't done anything, because I follow you on your pages.
Right.
And I pulled your pictures, and
Right.
that's how I did my board for conference.
That's right.
Because I didn't get any pictures from them.
right.
I got like one picture. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I know you guys are doing
So I
this
guess the
stuff.
biggest takeaway from that is do your reporting, do your history, let us know what you're doing. I always hear that, like, toot your own horn, and then I hear, well, why'd you do that? Well, why'd you take a picture? Why'd you take a selfie? Well, that was the only, I was the only one there. I'm just to take a selfie, and now I know what went on. It's okay. It really is okay.
It's a reminder.
Never regret taking the photo. That's another big thing. And if you can, beg, borrow, and steal. But if you can encourage people to also, you know, submit something, that's a great takeaway for that. So, any other questions? Yes.
No, I have another question. It came on what you were saying. Our past president, 13th District, Jan Carrington, she had an idea with you on our in our Facebook page for our unit. If it's important and you know that you're going to use it, you just hashtag unit 415 report. And going back then, I'm like, okay, that's
another great tool. Another great tool. And then that way it goes right to, so that when you're doing reports, what an awesome idea. Yeah, it doesn't get mixed up with all the other stuff. Yeah, what a great idea.
Yeah.
Any other tips or tools or anything anybody want to add to anything? Did I clarify? Now remember, and somebody had asked me, do you have handouts? I don't, I have handouts. I could give you all the handouts in the world. But guess what? Everything's going to change within the next, next week probably. So try to remember that just get on that just get on that website, and everything will be changed for updated forms and updated, how to, you know, what they may tweak a rule. Whoever wins the election, they may tweak a rule, or they may tweak something that your submission is a little bit different. So that's the only reason why I don't have handouts. I have show and tell. Was this enough?
That's good.
So, well, good. Thank you all very much for coming. If you don't have any more questions, I appreciate your time, and